Welcome to Aurelius Whitlock's Murder Museum.
This is Agent Jordan Key. My tour of Moonshine continues. At the library, I discovered that Marnie found a connection between the SS Diner and the Department of Resources. It also sounds like she was trying to trace back the steps of her comatose husband through the mine to the cursed treasure somewhere deep within. At Moonshine University, I met President Hastings, and I learned that a vengeful Mr. Evans, the owner of the mine from 50 years ago, apparently wasn't ready to let go. Last people heard of him, he was headed to D.C. If this wasn't a tape recorder, I would ask you to do some digging, Bev. I have a hunch that he, or his successor, is at the head of the DOR, trying to take back the mine. For now, though, I'm entering the hospital. Maybe the man in the coma, Martin Keeler, will have some answers for me. But I'm not getting my hopes up.
I love those monologues.
Okay, I'm stepping up towards the hospital, and if there's a front desk, I'll ask for Martin Keeler.
You enter the hospital. It's your typical sterile lighting, empty waiting room. There is one woman at the front desk. As you enter, she's talking on the phone, saying, okay, got it. She looks up as you enter, walk up to her. Hi, you're the government boy.
That's right. Random question. Was the person you were on the phone with just now, did that happen to be Miss Josephson?
No. Sorry, I haven't seen Miss Josephson today.
Okay. It was just shot in the dark, but like if I hit it on the bullseye, it would have freaked you out. I had a 1 in 9 chance of getting that right. It seemed like it could have been an important phone call.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I will pretend like that never happened and instead say, yes, I'm the government boy, as you say, and I am here to visit Martin Keeler.
I'm sorry. Visiting hours are over for the day. Maybe check back tomorrow?
My expression darkens.
Ooh. She her blood runs cold.
My eyebrows raise.
The hair at the back of her neck starts to stand up.
My nose crinkles.
Her eye starts to twitch.
See, it's working. It's working. I'm getting to her. I'll say, at the very least, I have some questions for you. I'm sure you're familiar with what has happened to Martin's wife.
Martin's wife?
Never mind. I am not sure if you knew this, but I tell her, broad strokes, that Marnie Keeler has been found washed up in Cooper's Lake.
She displays the appropriate amount of shock and horror.
I love that. I love that shorthand of when you're like, I don't know how to sound not suspicious, so I'm just going to say what you expect to see, you see.
Right. I feel like
because you're like, this character almost certainly isn't the murderer. So what can I just make sure? Okay, cool. I say, and this is the reason for my investigation and the reason why it is of the most importance. I understand what has happened here at the hospital. Are you the doctor or nurse in charge of Martin?
Oh, I'm not that high up. Not yet. I'm still in med school. I just taking this to get experience. No, doctor's out for the day. It's a small local hospital. We don't have that many cases, but I'm here most days. I just saw Marnie 3-4 days ago. She came to visit her husband, as she usually does.
Yes, I heard something about this. This most recent visit, was it at all more urgent? Did it seem like she had something to give or had some plan in mind? That's a weird thing to ask. Did she have a plan? Could you see it in her eyes?
I could see it shining. No, she seemed more flustered, I suppose. A little. I guess there's a sense of urgency to her.
Okay.
Most of the time in the past when she's come, she's been more, admittedly sad and weighed down, but this time she seemed excitable.
Would you recall if she was holding something? Was she holding maybe a tape recorder?
I believe she was. With my impeccable sense of memory, I believe she was holding a tape recorder.
Excellent. See, now she knows I can basically read her mind because I've been 100% accurate on all of my questions so far.
Boom.
Okay, tape recorder. I don't suppose there would be any indication of whether she had used that tape recorder yet.
Oh,
I guess there wouldn't be any. I can't expect you to know if she had recorded something or was about to.
She didn't play me any samples from the tape, so.
Right. Well, another important detail. After Marnie was here, did Miss Josephson show up that day?
Miss Josephson. I don't think so. I can check the visitor's log. Pulls out.
I describe what she looks like as well.
Yeah. I've been to the diner once or twice. Not very good food, if I'm honest.
Their scrambled eggs are eggs that are scrambled. Not very good either.
A rousing review. She flips through the pages. No, Holly Josephson. No, she wasn't here. Hasn't ever been here as far as I can tell.
Well, I have on wishy-washy authority that she was at some point outside of the hospital. And if she didn't check in, that makes me wonder if she was observing from afar.
If she was here, then, she didn't come in. When was this?
This was the same day.
Oh, yeah, no. The only visitor we had was pretty much Marnie.
There were no other visitors that day?
No other visitors of note.
Okay, no one, not Holly Josephson in a trench coat with a fake name?
Nope.
No trench coats, got it.
No trench coats.
Okay, well, with the context of this is a murder investigation, unnamed medical student, would you
Thank you for
be willing
for addressing me as my proper title.
Yes, I'm Government Boy, you're unnamed medical student.
Yes.
Would you please take me to the room of Martin Keeler?
I can take you, but I'm under strict orders to not let people in after hours.
Under whose authority?
The doctors?
Which doctors?
She names a plausible name of a doctor that works at this hospital.
Dr. Doctorson.
Yes.
I know them well.
Classic.
Was that who you were just speaking on the phone to?
No. She looks uncomfortable and starts to sweat profusely.
Profusely? Wow. That's incredible. And the only reason I ask about this is because there have been a couple of suspicious incidences surrounding this hospital. Was that phone call to do with the Keelers?
I'm sorry, sir. You'll really have to come back later. Preferably when I'm not on shift.
Oh, man. You're reminding me of Brandon Zolip, and that's not a good thing.
What?
How about this? Has there been any... Oh. First of all, what is your name?
Maddie. Maddie, the unpaid medical student.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I should have just used your title. Do you know about the Department of Resources? Have you seen them around town?
Yeah, they've been here for months now, making their presence very well known.
And did they make any objectives known? Or do most people just know them as those taking over the mine?
Well, yeah, everyone knows that they're buying the mine. They are interested in Marnie's husband.
That is my question.
Whether or not that's because they actually care about him or because they care about the fact that he got damaged in their mines. Their words, not mine. Hard to say.
How have they reached out?
I know they've been in contact with the doctors, the higher-ups. That's about all. They have come and visited Martin.
They have?
Yes, in the early days.
Okay. Well, does Maddie have anything on her person that I can swiftly use to blackmail her?
Her name, badge, and a white coat. I don't know if any of that's useful. Visiting hours begin at 11 tomorrow.
At 11 tomorrow. Okay, well, I'll have to just come back then. Could you do me a favor and keep track of anyone that asks to see him? If you see anyone outside, put a note of it. And if you're not letting me see him until 11, do not let anyone else in there before me.
Sounds good. Will do.
Now there are other investigators in town. Have you met a dirty coated man with an Australian accent? Have you met a Mr. Swan?
I don't know if that was his name, but yes, I know he came in here to poke around Martin as well. I was instructed to not
and
let
you
him
let
see
him?
No,
Okay,
I was instructed
good.
to not let him see the body. It's really only for family members.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want everyone gawking at the comatose man in the bed.
So if the person on the phone wasn't, who could have? I want to casually mention every person in town and see if it makes this person who has a very clear tell of sweating profusely. No, I think I'll drop it and leave.
Okay. You head back out into the early evening sky, air, whatever.
I would like to head to the mines, but take a detour back to the university in case President Hastings has any news for me.
Okay. You take a detour back to the university. Takes a little bit to get there, but when you arrive, you're told by the secretary that Hastings is expecting your arrival. You're ushered right into the office where you see once again President Raymond Hastings standing at the window.
President, have you learned anything about our friends in D.C.?
Government boy. Sorry. Agent Key. Yes, I was able to get in contact with a few of my friends out there still in the service and whatnot, and I've learned a few disturbing things. The DOR was initially founded in the 1930s by none other than Sherwood Evans.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the initial title of the organization was the Department of Unusual Resources, or DOUR. More concerning, the DOR has multiple weapons contracts with the government and some foreign bodies as well. In fact, rumors are that the DOR is in the pursuit of a new weapon.
Now, weapons for what purpose? Just for the country?
These are military contracts.
Okay. And do we know who the head of the DOR is today?
Sherwood Evans has, sadly or unsadly, depending on who you are, I suppose, passed away in the late 60s. The DOR is now headed by a Spencer Rivera.
I recognize the name Rivera. Where have I heard that name? Oh boy. No, I don't know. Okay, any other insights? Do they have some weakness? The DOR, some fatal flaw? Do they melt in the sunlight?
How did you know? No fatal weakness. They're not allergic to paper clips or anything like that.
Well, thank you for confirming what I think was both of our suspicions. Do you have any other insights or information regarding this topic?
He shakes his head, but I will keep my ear to the ground in case I hear anything.
Okay. Thank you. And I will be on my way.
Okay.
Next off, what time of day is it? Is it dusk?
It is dusk.
Dang, I haven't eaten anything since scrambled egg breakfast.
You are quite hungry.
Okay. I wonder if there's value in reconfronting Miss Holly Josephson, because I know that she was not forthright with me, but I also don't have the full picture yet.
I will remind you, she did leave the diner earlier, so you have no...
Gotcha. So she probably... I thought that she might have just left and was going to come back, but that's a good point. Okay. I do think I will stick to my original plan and go towards the mine.
Okay. It is solidly dark by the time you arrive up at the mines. You drive up a winding road through a thicket of evergreens until you arrive at the mine entrance, lit by a single lantern.
Single lantern. Are there people about?
No one about.
Okay. Well, my plan might not work if there aren't people about, but I have this very interesting car radio, and I was curious about if I could do a brief scrub through any local radio channels. I would have assumed that a government agency would be using some sort of radio signals, but if they're not here, maybe I come up empty.
Scrubbing through the radio, it's poor reception up here near the mountain. You can't quite get anything more than garbled words. Hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
You do notice, however, that the area in front of the mine entrance is covered in white pebbles.
Mm-hmm. I think I will get out of my car and just give a closer look to the entrance of the mine.
Okay. The entrance looks like your typical mine entrance. The 3 wooden logs, except there is a big keep out sign painted over the top. You can peek in. It is partially your normal mine shaft with like wood and dirt and rock made up of the walls, but on one of the walls there's also thick pipes running through.
Thick pipes. How new do they look?
They look old. They look like a remnant of the steampunk age.
Mm-hmm. I would be a fool to enter the mine at this point.
If this was a...
But also... go ahead. What were you going to say?
If this was a point-and-click game, you'd click on the mine entrance and be like, it's probably not smart to go in the dark right now.
It's like... Exactly. Be like, that doesn't seem very smart. White pebbles. White pebbles were found in the boots of Marnie.
Correct.
So just some extra confirmation that she was here the night of her death. How close is the lake to where I am? Can I see the lake?
You can't see the lake, but for the trees, but you know it's vaguely to the west of you.
Are there any noticeable car tracks or anything that might help me determine if her body was picked up from here, where she was taken?
The gravel does look disturbed. There's only one road going down the mountain, so cars have been up here recently. You can tell that.
Well, maybe I need to come back here when I know the way, which I do not yet. Could you remind me about Marnie's body? What did it look like could be the cause of death? Strangulation?
So, it did look like blunt force trauma, but she did have bruises across her body. There's blunt force trauma to the head that looks like that was the likely cause of death. There's also the graying of the skin and the blackening of the fingernails.
I don't know how you presented that information to me before, but hearing it now, that sounds very curse-like. So it feels very possible that she entered the mines and maybe even made it all the way. The question is, why would she go in the mines? Did some ancient deity promise her that she'd wake up her husband if she found the artifact deep within the mine? Is there any blood, or if I look really close at the rocks?
If you look really close at the rocks.
Just really, really close. See, you already told me about them, but I didn't say I was looking really close. But now I am.
I see. If you look really, really close, there is no blood.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, while I take a moment to contemplate like what my next move is, I'm going to flip open my pocket Watson.
Yes.
I don't know how time passes in here versus out there, but what is going on? Is the curator on his way back?
You're in here without the permission of the curator. Hold on. He's trying to reach you. It's difficult. The exhibit is highly damaged by someone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, just curious if... am I in imminent danger being within this exhibit?
In normal exhibits, I can guarantee a base level of safety, but as this is not a normal exhibit, I suppose I cannot guarantee anything. I'm not actually sure what would happen if you were to be injured or worse here.
Good to know. Thank you, Pocket Watson. Just thought I'd check in. Click. All right, well, it's so dark out. I think I better be on my way back to the Finch.
Okay. You head back to the Finch Hotel. It is solidly night as you waltz into the main lobby. As you come in, the desk attendant waves you over.
Mm-hmm.
You had a message from Sheriff Stone. They said they had a lead on the car, and to meet with them at the office tomorrow morning. They didn't want to tell me where it was, I guess.
Okay. The car? Is that what they said?
That's what they said, the car.
Well, that's exciting. I'm glad they have a lead. Thank you. Anyone hanging around in the foyer?
No, it's actually pretty quiet tonight.
What's that dirty swan up to? Okay, I head to my room.
Okay. As you make your way up to your room, you notice a smell. It's quite a strong smell. It tickles the back of your head. It smells like someone's burning sage. As you walk into the hallway where your room is, you notice that a deep green glow is coming from a room a few doors down from yours, and you can hear muffled words and the sound of a violin.
Oh my. Oh no. Well, we're going over there. The smell of sage.
The door is locked a little bit. It is locked, so it's stuck, but you can hear the muffled words and the violin louder now. And you can smell the sage. It is definitely coming from this room.
Is there a ritual happening in there?
Impossible to tell from this side of the door.
But what about the other side? To tell me what it sounds like in there. All right. Is there any way to get in here? No. This is second floor?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bang on the door.
You bang on the door. The words get louder. They're not in a language that you recognize. The door is a weak hotel door. Could you kick it in? There's a decent shot.
Have I already kicked it in? Yes.
The door crashes open, doorknob flying across the room. The following scene meets your eyes. You see that the bed has been pushed back. There are black sigils scrawled into the wooden floorboards. On each of the corners of the rooms, there are large green candles with green flames bursting through them. Floating in the middle of the room, black ichor dripping from her fingertips and eyes rolled back, is Kylie Quinn.
Kylie, I snap at her.
The words are coming from her. She's mumbling them, again, not in a language you recognize. The violin is coming from a record player spinning on the bed. She doesn't quite seem to register your snapping, but as you step closer, the flames of the candles grow larger.
I'm gonna go over to the record and stop the record.
You stop the record. She stops speaking and she drops to the floor with a loud thump.
I rush over to her and I say, "Did you decide to do this? What are you doing?"
She's breathing heavy, struggling to keep her eyes open, and you notice that her fingernails are blackened. I was trying to purge the curse. And she passes out in your arms.
Just in the ihmisnäfni ja selle